I remember the moment finding out that I was pregnant. I was like completely devastated as soon as I saw pregnant. At that point, I just like broke down because I knew that I had so much to look forward to, and I had recently just got accepted into this university that I like didn't really know what to do. But in the back of my head, the first thing that came into my mind was an abortion. And so once I was able to like finally get some words out, I was talking to my partner and he also suggested abortion. So since we were both on the same page, it was probably like 5 minutes after I found out that I was pregnant. He went searching online, learning how to get an abortion. And I remember even thinking, like, is abortion like even illegal or legal in the United States? I had no idea like what was going on because, we didn't talk about that in school. We didn't talk about it with my family. So it was just something that I knew that was there and available, but I just didn't know if it was available to me. So my partner was the one that did all the researching to see if what resources we had, what options we had. So the first thing he found out was that under 18, you have to be over 18 to get an abortion without parental consent. And since I was 17 and since I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, I couldn't have an abortion. But luckily at the same time that he found out that I had to be 18 and over to have an abortion without parental consent, he also found this organization called Jane's Due Process, and that they specifically help minors get a judicial bypass, which is a way to get an abortion without parental consent. And so what that process looked like is you go to a court and you have to basically show that you're mature enough to get an abortion without parental consent, basically saying that, as minors, as anyone under 18, you're not mature enough to make this decision about your body. But then at the same time, if you wanted to get pregnant and have a child at 17 with no resources, that's totally okay. After that, I just reached out to the organization, Jane's Due Process, and they just helped me every step of the way. They gave me a list of things that I needed to do. The first thing being on the list was to go to the clinic and get an ultrasound. The judicial bypass process takes an average of 2 weeks, and that's if you're doing it just depends on so many things. Like, that's if you have reliable transportation, that's if you're not in school, because if you're in school, then that would be a lot harder because you would only have to go, you'd either have to cut class or you'd have to go after class. And then, if you have strict parents, that's pretty much impossible, especially, when schools alert when a child's like not in class. The next thing was just to meet the attorney, and to meet the attorney, they kind of tell you what's the process going to be like, what you need to do, what you need to say, and they kind of give you a little bit of insight what the going in front of a judge looks like. And so going to that appointment, they told me everything that I needed to say, what I needed to include in my story, things to like refrain from, gave me a little bit of insight how the setup might be and what kind of questions they'll ask. And they did kind of give us a warning that they would be kind of invasive questions, all to prove that you're mature enough to have this procedure. Since you're under 18, you're a minor. The way they have to do it is that they call you Jane so that they don't know your real name. And so that would mean that you have to go, earlier than all the other cases they're going to see that day. It felt like the whole entire time, it definitely felt like a very secretive process. And it definitely felt that I was a criminal because I was doing all of these things and kind of like going around the law. But that's kind of the whole point of the process, is to make you feel that you're doing something wrong and to make you feel that, just to get this one procedure, you have to go through all these steps. And so the process is made to make minors, just young people in general, feel that you shouldn't be doing this, and that just to confuse you to do that. And so that's definitely how I felt. I felt that I was doing something wrong because I had to go to the judge. I had to meet an attorney, which I've never met, a lawyer or attorney before. So it was definitely scary. Going to the appointment, I just knew that there was so much like on the line, and I was afraid that if I wasn't perfect, then this could be my future and it would be my fault because I didn't give the correct response. And so these are just things that were running through my head the entire time. The day before, the day of, the judge kept asking, questions like, oh, why couldn't you involve your parents? Or why couldn't you keep this child? And so just all really invasive questions, and questions that were really weird to talk to in front of a judge and somebody that like you don't know, a stranger. And so there were just questions along that line. And I try to really emphasize that I'm going to college. I have something to look forward to. I want to become a mechanical engineer. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to get a degree because a lot of my family members don't have that. And so I just want the opportunity to be able to do that and seek it out. At the end of it, I remember when we finished up, literally standing up on our way to go out, he said, he was like, in my religion, I don't believe that we don't believe that abortion is right, but as a judge I have to remain impartial. And to me that kind of meant that like he was going to say no, because he had to add like his opinion in there. And so I was just terrified because it kind of sounded like it was a no. And so after that it was just really horrible because it was just waiting, seeing if I did get the bypass or not. And luckily I did get the bypass. And so once I got the bypass, the next thing was just to schedule the appointment with the clinic. And then that's what happened from there. That was the best decision I've ever made because I knew that I had a future ahead of me. I knew exactly what I wanted. And I didn't let the stigma of, the judge try to make me, I didn't let the judge try to make me feel that I was stupid and that I didn't know what I wanted, because I knew exactly what I wanted. And it stands to this day. I'm still here, extremely proud of that decision. And I'm at where I'm at because of my abortion.